Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
Permission
I ask the questions, you give the answers. Is that clear?
Mr. Beneficiary, you should not talk over to the court. I thank you very much. Thank you.
That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this.
If you're not Mr. Pollard, then you're not here. The warrant will be for your arrest, and you can sit in jail till you rot for all I care.
That's fine, Your Honor, but that's
Deputy, you can remove him. He's not here.
He's not here today because he doesn't exist.
Okay, everyone. Today we have a very tricky sovereign citizen in court. He has 4 hearings, and believe me, he gives every judge a hard time. This guy is serious and has done some surprising things. I won't spoil it, but you won't believe how he acts like the rules don't matter to him. Luckily, the judges deal with it well. Let me know in the comments what you think he should get for these bad crimes. You'll want to stay for this. Let's get started.
Beneficiary.
Oh, he done this before.
What's his name?
The beneficiary.
Yeah, first name, Mr. Beneficiary.
Are you stating that the trust that we are administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust? If so,
I'm asking you what your name is.
My name is the beneficiary of the trust.
Of whose trust?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm going to recall him. Bring up somebody else. Put him aside. We'll call him at the end. Sir, is your name the beneficiary, Kevin Teron Anthony Pollard? Yes or no?
I'm the beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust?
Are you Kevin Pollard? I'm asking you.
Is the trust that we are now administrating?
Sir, I ask the questions here. You give me yes or no answers.
You're asking for my permission to
ask the questions. You give the answers. Is that clear?
It's very clear.
Okay, listen.
Yes.
Are you also known by the name of Kevin Pollard amongst other names? Yes or no?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor? If so, Kevin Pollard is in fact present today. It is you that is Kevin Pollard, Your Honor. It is you.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
It is you that is Kevin Pollard. Yes, Your Honor. You are Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor. I am the beneficiary.
And then who are you?
I am the beneficiary of the trust.
Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
I have some questions for the clerk, Your Honor.
No.
I have. Can I speak to the clerk before we go any further?
You know what? I'm gonna put you in timeout. Get your mind right, Mr. Pollard.
Yes, sir. Can I have the clerk present? Please, Your Honor.
Don't give in.
Please have the clerk present in the Zoom meeting.
You know what? If you answer my questions, I'll consider it.
Okay. What's the question?
What's your name?
The beneficiary.
All right, Mr. Beneficiary, put you back in timeout.
This judge is really taking charge right now. I'm tired of seeing judges let people talk without consequences, but not this one. He's like a parent who's counted to 3 and isn't playing around anymore. It's honestly great to see because judges have the power to keep things in order. If you misbehave, they can fine you, kick you out, or even put you in jail. Some judges don't do this, and I don't understand why. When they don't, the courtroom turns into a reality show. I really think we need more judges like this. I'm giving him a 10 out of 10, but I know some might think he's too strict. I get it, some of you might not agree with supporting tougher judges, but I honestly think we need more like him. Let me know your thoughts, and let's keep going.
All right, beneficiary. I'm going to give you another chance in front of another magistrate.
That's no problem. Can I have the clerk present, please?
Hey, sir, I'm Magistrate Chartea. DDC.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the DDC officer.
Yes.
DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The gentleman that is in front of the screen, in front of camera 1, what name do you have him listed as?
Kevin Pollard.
Do you have a middle name?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a Kevin Pollard. Okay, and sir, you're identified as Kevin Pollard, but you're considering yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct, sir?
Are we on the record?
We are. Everything is on the record.
Okay, are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard trust, ma'am?
I'm not administrating any trust because there is no trust in front of me. But what I'm asking you is, you call yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. I have case number is 240-5538101. People of the state of Michigan versus Kevin Theron Anthony Pollard, who is listed by DDC as Kevin Pollard. However, the gentleman has identified himself as the beneficiary.
You representing as Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor?
Mr. Pollard,
I'm not.
Mr. Pollard, now, as your counsel, I am going to advise that you stop speaking and allow the judge to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel Kirkland.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Shava Kirkland on behalf of Mr. Pollard, who has been advised of his rights, which is to stand mute and waive the formal reading.
Thank you. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are February 2nd, 2024. It is a probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 8th, 1:30 p.m. Both matters are in front of Judge King. The probable cause conference, it is at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Beneficiary, you should not come over to the court. I thank you very much.
You are under oath and you are on record. And I'm asking you,
beneficiary, I have not sworn you under oath. I am under oath, so I am doing all this. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. I already given the court dates while this case is pending, sir. Okay, there should be no contact with the individual.
You are not allowed to state what the judgment is. That is my job.
Mr. Pollard, I do want to let you know that the judgment.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk. I have a question for the clerk.
You will give an opportunity, sir. You will give an opportunity. Let me finish. The people, go ahead, Esteban.
Yeah, the people are asking for $250,000 cash bond, no cash, no surety. If he's able to ever post bond, we'd like GPS tether with home arrest. The defendant, Your Honor, has a continuing situation where he entices young girls on the internet from Arizona in this particular case, and previously on 10/23/2023 in another case where he enticed people.
This guy should definitely be charged with contempt right now, no doubt about it. He's completely disrespecting the court and making a mockery of the whole process. It's like he thinks there are no real consequences for what he's doing. On top of that, he's encouraging others, especially younger people, to behave the same way, which is just wrong. It's one thing to mess up yourself, but when you start influencing people who might not fully understand the consequences, that's even worse. This case is serious, and I don't get why he's acting this way. Usually, sovereign citizens do this for minor stuff, like a traffic ticket, but this guy is facing serious jail time. He needs to be locked up for a long time because he's not just a danger to himself, he's a danger to others. It's scary to think he could be back out on the streets someday.
He's been arrested 3 different times for criminal sexual conduct. The first case, he was found not guilty back on 5/15/2015. The 10/21/2023 case, where he was criminal sexual conduct first degree and also contributing alcohol to a minor, 2 counts of that, was at the exam dismissed without prejudice. In our particular case we have here today, Your Honor, the victim is from Arizona. She came here after having a relationship, not the victim, but one of the witnesses came here after having a 3-year relationship with this defendant on the internet. When she turned 18, she came to visit. And also, Mr. Pollard introduced her to another girl who is also from Arizona. The other girl brought her niece or her, I forgot the relationship, but her 7-year-old niece with her to visit Mr. Pollard. And what happened then, because the person was tired from traveling, she fell asleep in the living room. When she woke up, she went into the bedroom, and there was Mr. Pollard with the 7-year-old girl. He then said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, we're playing video games." So the woman, the adult in the room, she falls asleep again. And then she is awakened by the 7-year-old girl and asked to leave. The 7-year-old girl then tells her mother that the Mr. Pollard touched her, rubbed her, he says, okay? He said, accidentally is what he's trying to tell us what happened. The situation is she's told the 7-year-old child has told TED Talk that he did this. He's told Protective Services that he did this. And as far as I'm concerned, Judge, he fits the category of a predator because he did the same thing in the 1023-2023 case of enticing young people from other parts of the country, perhaps, I don't know where exactly, to come and see him on the internet. So we're asking for $250,000 cash bond, no surety, and GPS tether if he's ever be able to post bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'm not going to lie, that bond is pretty high, but honestly, given that this guy is a total predator, it might actually be too low. You might think I'm being too harsh, but really, he's facing some truly awful charges, and on top of that, he's mocking the court and trying to talk over the judge like he's above it all. It's honestly wild. This whole situation really shows what kind of person he is. A bond closer to $1 million would make more sense for someone this dangerous and disrespectful to the law. Let me know what you think. Should the bond be higher? Because in my opinion, it should be at least 4 times higher. Anyway, let's keep watching and see what happens.
Counsel Kirkland, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court, understanding the seriousness of these charges, for a 10% bond if this court is not inclined to do a high personal bond. So one, I know the bulk of Brother Counsel's argument was this dismissed case from last year. I'd ask that this court sentence him based on these allegations and the facts and details surrounding this case. This is a 2020 case. And the woman that he met was 20 years old, or that came to see him was a 20-year-old woman, was not an underage woman. And the allegation is that she brought her, I believe, goddaughter to the home. Now, there are different variations because a couple different stories are told as to what occurred there. But Mr. Pollard has maintained that he did not sexually assault the little girl. I'm not sure why this case wasn't charged until 2024, but it is a 4-year-old case. My understanding is that he, I don't believe he's had any convictions since then. He is a lifelong resident, has a child, so he has strong ties to the community. He also owns a lawn service here. At this point, there's no amount of bond that he can't afford to pay, so even a 10% bond would be unaffordable for him. But given the age of this case and his lack of issues since this, I'd ask this court consider a high personal bond, if not that, a 10% bond.
Thank you. I've heard the representations from both sides in this particular matter in reference to the beneficiary who is listed by the court or by DDC as Kevin Pollard, is that in this particular matter, even though this is from 2020, okay, there was a forensic interview, Kids Talk, with the victim, and she disclosed that she was touched by the defendant and that he rubbed her with his hand. This court is not considering the other cases that were dismissed without prejudice. Okay, this court is only going with this matter. In reference to this gentleman, the defendant, bond is going to be $250,000 cash. There's going to be a GPS tether, home arrest. Further, okay, it's going to be unaffordable. So today is Friday. He's going to get another court date. Today is the 26th. January 29th, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConigal, who's going to be looking at the bond amount and bond conditions. Also, there is one other thing. This court looks at clear and convincing evidence standard, okay, based on the representation, based on the reading. This court is convinced that Mr. Pollard okay, I'm sorry, the beneficiary, okay, that he is a creditor in this particular matter. That's why we're putting at $250,000 cash, GPS tether, house arrest. He does have the, again, the unaffordable bond redetermination for this Monday, January 29, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConigal. Also, there's another bond condition. He's not to be around any minor children. That concludes the arraignment of the beneficiary, also known as Kevin Pollard. Madam Clerk.
Pretrial, Your Honor.
No, I was
Talk to the gentleman that's in front of the screen.
Judge.
Okay. Just so for the record, is that the clerk has declined to talk to the gentleman in front of the screen.
No, that is not fair.
Thank you.
That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this. I have rights, and you violated them, and you was not my judge.
Okay, you go. Go ahead and do whatever.
You cannot do that.
Does this guy really think the judge is just going to agree with him and say, "You're right, this isn't fair," after he was messing with underage people? That's not going to happen. The judge clearly has authority, and if he doesn't get that, well, he's in a prison cell right now. No matter how much he complains, he's not going anywhere. It's honestly ridiculous that he thinks he can talk his way out of this. He's literally locked up. It's almost laughable to me. But anyway, let's get into his bond redetermination hearing. He's trying to get his $250,000 bond lowered, so let's see what happens. And here's a little spoiler. The judge is not going easy on him, and things get really intense.
Okay. What is the bond for your client? Is it $250,000?
Cash, that's correct.
Argument.
Judge, my client's 38 years of age. He's on Social Security disability, Judge. I don't see any criminal history for Mr. Pollard, Your Honor. He lives in the city, does have a child. Your Honor, this alleged incident occurred back in 2020. So it's some 4 years ago. You know, obviously, you know, it's a serious case, obviously. But it's 4 years old, Judge. He has no priors. I'm asking respectfully for a reduction in bond. The bond is $250,000 cash. Judge, I know the court will impose a GPS tether. I already know that, Judge. My client, in fact, Judge, he has a tether already on. He has a tether already on. Let me be clear about that. There's a misdemeanor, and I apologize, Judge, if I said something wrong initially. There's a misdemeanor that he has the tether for, so it's a misdemeanor.
Okay.
You know, Your Honor, and he does a lawn care service, so he does have some work that he does. But the court doesn't have to worry about tether. I'm just asking for a reduction in bond to either a high part, some type of 10% bond. I think $250,000, Judge, is excessive. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Prosecutor.
Judge, the defendant on the screen today in the top left, he's being charged with assaulting a the assault allegedly happened at his house in his bed. Your Honor, this is an individual who allegedly is self-proclaimed part of the tribe of Judah. This is also an individual that I actually had the opportunity to watch the arraignment regarding the defendant in this case. Gave the magistrate such a hard time that multiple magistrates actually ended up having to handle the matter because he wouldn't give up his name or his identity. Now, being charged with this and now knowing what his past is like, I may refrain from giving a magistrate or a judge my name as well. Because, Judge, the situation that Mr. Reagan is talking about that the defendant's involved in right now, it has to do with selling and furnishing alcohol to minors, to a 12-year-old and 14-year-old. It actually originally began as a criminal sexual conduct first degree where the defendant allegedly was having sex with the.
Sorry for the interruptions, everyone. I can't talk about ages because of YouTube rules. I know it's a bit frustrating, and I apologize. But seriously, this guy is a real threat, not just some random person. With a $250,000 bond and everything he's done, it's clear this is serious. He's also a Hebrew Israelite, which is similar to a sovereign citizen. This group has extreme beliefs, including promoting hate and claiming some races are better than others. They've been involved in troubling incidents before. With his criminal actions on top of that, he's even more dangerous than people think. The prosecutor is doing an amazing job exposing everything and not letting him get away with anything. It's crazy to see because his case is falling apart. And don't go anywhere, the judge is about to make a huge move. Let's see what happens next.
But, Your Honor, based on apparently the idea that somebody didn't appear at a hearing, it was reduced to the selling and furnishing of the alcohol. So he has an ongoing matter right now, Judge. He's on bond. We have this particular matter, allegedly, where this individual ended up touching a 7-year-old's. We have corroboration to that, Judge. And Your Honor, with all due respect, the way that the people see this defendant based on previously being charged, now being charged with another CSC first degree, we find him to be a predator. Not only that, Judge, we find him to be mentally unstable. He's currently on a case regarding minors. And just plain and simple, Judge, we find him to be a danger to the community. Therefore, Judge, we do feel as though a high cash bond is appropriate. We do feel as though the magistrate got it right here in terms of the $250,000 cash, not just to this particular complainant, but kids, all kids. This is one of those individuals where we feel as though he poses a danger to everybody.
See, where we I haven't heard the arguments of counsel, where this gets a little dicey for concerning bond, is that we have a situation where the defendant allegedly, I guess an 18-year-old comes in town to visit with him for her birthday. She turned 18, so she comes to see the 37-year-old who she's been in a long-term relationship with for the last 3 years. So I guess he would have been 34 starting the relationship with the 50-year-old. Allegedly, she talks to a friend and they come over and the 7-year-old is over. The girl comes and finds the two of them in the bed, and then the mother contacts a person asking who is this Kevin guy, because her daughter says he touched her. So, and then we have another case of furnishing alcohol to 12-year-olds, and whether there's sex there or not sex there. We have a pattern that's a little bit concerning. It's a lot of minors, a lot of alcohol, a lot of sex allegations, a lot of molestation allegations, a lot of flying people in who are kids and teenagers. And so we're real concerned about this. So the $250,000 bond is an unaffordable bond. And so the court does find that this defendant is a danger to all kids. He's just a danger. The court is going to disagree with the magistrate on this, and I know the magistrate or magistrates had some issues with this defendant, and they used the information that they had at this time to come up with the $250,000 bond. But the court does find that Mr. Pollard poses a great danger to the community, and a $250,000 bond is unaffordable. But it's not enough. It's not enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some to it to make sure he's incapacitated. But if he posts the bond, then that means we know that he'll appear for court. So the bond is going to be increased to $1 million, and that'll be $1 million.
Oh wow! I did not expect that. When I first heard about the $1 million bond, I was like, "Is this for real? That's such a big amount." But honestly, with the crimes he's facing, it makes sense. Let me know if you guys agree. A bond that high is meant to keep someone in jail so they can't just walk free. Even if he somehow posts it, he won't want to lose $100,000, so he'll definitely come back. It's a clear message that they mean business. And judging by the prosecutor, the judge, and even his own lawyer, who looks like he doesn't want to be there, no one is on his side. I just really hope he doesn't get out on that bond. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think $1 million is fair? I don't think he's posting it, but that's a huge amount.
If he makes the $1 million, then he'll be placed under house arrest with GPS tether. And Mr. Pollard is not to have any interactions with anyone under the age of 18. whether they're family, whether he knows them. He's not to be around anyone under the age of 18. If he is, that will violate his bond. Thank you.
So, Judge, the bond was 250,000 cash.
Yeah, and now it's $1 million cash. Now it's $1 million cash.
Okay.
It's $1 million now. It's $1 million now.
Okay, because he's on Social Security disability now. Can't afford.
I understand, but the court finds that Mr. Pollard, it may be some serial action is going on right here, and I don't really know if he's like a serial rapist. I don't know if there are other children that he just lays in the bed with allegedly and touches, or there's other year-olds, or if he's flying other 18-year-olds out to celebrate their birthday. I'm not sure. So what we have to do is we're going to err on the side of caution and make sure that Mr. Pollard is not able, at least right now, to be able to engage or even be charged with engaging in these type of activities.
Yeah, no, Judge, I get it. I know it's rough when the allegations are from January of 2020, but the prosecutor doesn't charge until January 24. I mean,
it's when it looks like it wasn't until October 14th of 2023 when the mother called asking, who is this Kevin guy? So that we just kind of got that information, and I'm not sure when the 12-year-old, I'm not sure when all the 12-year-old and the alcohol, when that happened. So it's a lot, Mr. Reagan, and so the timeline may get a little bit jumbled, but it's a lot of kids, teenagers, alcohol, sex, molestation. It's kind of blending, and so we're here where we are.
Yes, sir.
Right, thank you, Mr. Pollard.
All right, guys. Before we get into the last two hearings with this sovereign citizen, just know it's about to get intense. The next judge is on another level, super strict, no nonsense, and not putting up with any of these sovereign citizen tricks. You're going to see him shut this guy down quickly, and it's so satisfying to watch. But before we get into that, I want to know what you think. I love reading your comments. Personally, I think the $1 million bond is fair, but let me know your thoughts. All right. Let's see what this judge has to say to this.
20 earner Nicole James, appearing on behalf of Mr. Pollard. My P number is 58961.
All right. What's your pleasure, counsel? Oh, Mr. Pollard, unmute yourself and tell us your name, sir. Mr. Pollard, have them unmute you so you can tell us your name. Tell me your name, sir.
I exercise my right to remain silent.
You don't want to tell us your name?
I'm the beneficiary.
Beneficiary of what?
Of the trust that we are now here to administrate.
Okay, that's fine. Can you tell me your name?
Excuse me?
Can you tell me your name?
The beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. I'm not
beneficiary of trust.
I'm not here summoned here as the name. I'm summoned as the trust. It'll be a contradiction.
I'm looking for Kevin Pollard. If he's not here, I will capious him.
Your Honor, you are appearing as Kevin Pollard today.
No, I'm not. My name is Kenneth King.
No, Your Honor, you are the trustee of the administrate, the trust that we are now here to administrate. It is a
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. I'm just looking for Kevin Pollard. If you're not him, then I'll issue an arrest warrant for Kevin Pollard because he's supposed to be here.
Under trust law, it's a contradiction for one to be the beneficiary and the trustee, Your Honor.
All right, you're talking a different language to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Miss James, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, originally I was going to ask that it be set for a preliminary examination, but it sounds like it may be a competency issue. So Judge, what I'm going to ask the court to do, I have an appointment to meet with Mr. Pollard this afternoon. I'm going to ask the court if you would, we can set an exam date, but we could also set Monday as a review date.
Hey, why don't we just do that before we set an exam date?
Okay.
The court will adjourn the probable cause conference. If you're able to find Mr. Pollard, we'll adjourn the probable cause conference to February 5th at 8:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Find Mr. Pollard, and I will issue a case for his arrest.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Sir, in the Wayne County Jail, what's your name?
There you go.
Say your name.
Say your name, sir.
For me,
Yeah.
the beneficiary of the state. I'm here today for the state.
What's your name, sir? I don't know who the beneficiary is.
Excuse me?
What is your name?
I'm coming to appear as the beneficiary of the state, Your Honor.
Okay, forget all that. What did your mom call you when she named you? I have no idea who you are, sir. Okay, well, you're gonna sit there until I figure out who you are.
I'm not under that jurisdiction to consent to the name, Your Honor. That's appearing under your jurisdiction.
Your case is then, because I'm looking for Mr. Pollard. If you're not Mr. Pollard, then you're not here. The warrant will be for your arrest, and you can sit in jail till you rot for all I care.
That's fine, Your Honor, but that's
Deputy, you can remove him. He's not here.
He's not here today because he doesn't exist.
Okay, bye.
The all caps entity.
Talking to you. Goodbye.
I absolutely love when judges handle sovereign citizens like this. No nonsense, just pure law and zero emotion. It's so great to see someone stand firm and not let these guys try to get away with things. As for this sovereign citizen, I have to say, he seems mentally unstable. Just looking at him, you can tell something is off. He's not just trying to avoid consequences, there's definitely something deeper happening, which is kind of worrying. I also have a strong feeling he's a repeat offender. Based on what we know about his past, I wouldn't be shocked if he's done even worse things than what's being discussed in court today. Let me know what you thought about this hearing. It was super satisfying to see him get put in his place, and that $1 million bond? Crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. I post every day, so stay tuned. I really appreciate all of you for watching. So glad you're here. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.